Joining us now is Kabo Ramasia, a journalist who has been following the developments closely in Botswana. Kabo, a very good afternoon to you and thank you so much for your time. Was this an expected outcome in Botswana with the BDP losing after 58 years? What factors do you think contributed to this historic change?
Okay, thank you for having me, and let me take this time to greet your viewer. Well, I think this came as quite a shocker, particularly given the incumbents that the BDP has always enjoyed for the last 6 decades or so. Because you remember that since 1965, a year before we attained independence, when we first held our general elections, I think the BDP won, and they've always won throughout all these years. But this time around, I think, it was quite surprising to see that the umbrella for democratic change of the UDC, it got 36 parliamentary seats, while the BDP got 4, and the Botswana Congress Party, or the BCP, got 15, while the Botswana Patriotic Front, or the BPF, got 5, and one independent candidate. So which means that, it was quite shocking for the BDP. And, to try to understand what could have led to the demise of the BDP, I think what is worth exploring is, the issues that the voter or the electorate were complaining about. First and foremost, I think, the people got tired of, the BDP failing to live up to its promises of creating jobs. You recall that the country grapples with a high number of youth unemployment, and it really is a challenge that the country has been failing to deal with for many years right now. And there's also that issue of inequality, whereby the rich get richer while the poor are getting poorer. There's that widening gap that has always been there. Botswana is considered one of the most unequal countries of the world. And also, I think the people also were looking at, maybe the state of the education system and also the health system, which sort of seem to have been in a crisis leading up to this 2024 general elections.
So, you speak of health issues, inequality. Were those the general sentiments amongst voters leading up to this election? And what's the sentiment now in Botswana?
I think generally the mood is of, hope, and the people are looking forward to this new government. You know that Botswana has never had a change of guard. This is the first of its kind, and people are really looking forward to the new government led by President Advocate Duma Boko of the UDC to really see to it that this pressing socio-economic issues are attended to with immediate effect, because poor working conditions both within the public sector and the private sector have always come to the fore, and also these issues of poor wages, issues of inflation, and issues of failing to diversify the economy. I think the sentiment right now is that the current government should try to hit the ground running insofar as trying to really improve the quality of the people's livelihoods here.
And in hitting that ground running, do you see or foresee a smooth transition between the two parties that are now changing seats within government?
Well, Botswana is known for its democracy. You recall that, for the longest time, we were hailed as a beacon of good governance and a shining example of democracy. And for a 58-year-old country that has never had civil unrest, that has never gone to war, I think it really, what happened yesterday really showed that indeed Botswana, has nurtured a democracy that can withstand all this tribulations. So I don't anticipate a situation whereby there will be any challenge with handing over government. Because even the former president himself, called a press conference yesterday to the effect that he will be handing over power to advocate Duma Boko. That was when counting was still continuing, and they could see that they are losing power. So he also offered himself to say that should the new president seek any information or help regarding government, is willing to help them, serve for the better of the country.
So, I mean, Kabo, you mentioned with regards to the seats in Parliament that the BDP now only has 4 seats, while the UDC has 36 seats. How has this political landscape changed in Botswana with this election, and what does this shift mean for the future of political competition in your country?
Well, I think that the shift basically means that the parties should know that incumbents is something that does not mean that you cannot, defeated at the poll. And also going forward, we are not even sure whether the UDC would maybe sustain beyond 5 years, or maybe the people will vote it out, maybe if they're not satisfied. I think it took so long for us as a country to really strive for this change that the people have made. So I think even seeing that element of uncertainty for the parties that are contesting, to say that, we can say that we can be on a comfort zone because, the people can take you anytime. But regarding the democracy as a whole, I don't think that Botswana can be a one-party state, even though the BDP has, the UDC has won so many seats. And there will always be that tolerance of other political parties. And also in Botswana, I think we believe that, that healthy exchange of ideas where you have different political parties is what makes a democracy. So I think going forward, the democracy will still stay as it does.
We're just losing you a bit then. I'm hoping that we'll be able to get this last question in there, Kabo, with regards to the role of media and what role the media play leading up to these elections and just shaping the political opinion and the public opinion of voters within these elections.
The media played a very crucial role. You recall that there is private media or independent media and state media, which is operated by government. But this time, all these media organizations, they really came to the party. You know that during election time, it is the media that gives a platform to political parties and to candidates to really express themselves as to what their manifestos are all about. And also the media really gave those political parties a platform through debate so that they can really reach to the electorate or to the vote. And also, I think that the media was disseminating information on the need for them to register to vote, and also on and on a variety of issues that was regarding the elections. Even though there were a bit of challenges here and there regarding the information disorders that we mainly see online due to an avalanche of or an influx of some of the fly-by-nights social media publications here and there, which were spreading propaganda, sometimes fake news, misinformation, and
all right, we seem to have lost Kabo Ramasia, who is a journalist in Botswana, just giving us a sense and a picture of what the future looks like for Botswana as the new UDC party has now taken over most seats and, of course, the president having been sworn in yesterday.